Hey guys, welcome to another week of Clear Edge strategy discussion where we talk about all the different types of strategies on the marketplace, talk about automation, different ways to automate, sizing wise, psychology wise. So welcome, and I'm one of the Clear Edge support staff, and this is Kevin, the creator of Market Ninja, and we're here to just start discussing this stuff. So let's just jump in. Kevin, how'd your week go with automating?
Well, it went pretty good. Had a bunch of nice wins on the Ninja MNQ. So good week on that strategy.
Those were
Gold.
nuts. Those were like how much was it all together? Like 300 points or more in like a day?
Yeah, yesterday was pretty close to that.
That's
Just
nuts.
got it up in front of me. Yeah, it caught like 100 and roughly 120 point one way, and then what was the other one? It was like 163 or 5 or something when it reversed the second time. So two monster trades. Yeah, that one did really well this week. But that was a testament this week to leaving it alone, which was really tough to do. I think it was one of the days. What was it? It was maybe Tuesday.
When it
You
had like
know,
160 point stop loss, I think it was. It
It
was one of
well,
those days.
yeah, it was fairly large, like 100 and yeah, 30 maybe, because that stop loss is based on ATR, so it's always gonna, but that's why it catches those monsters as well, right? It's always gonna be a positive ATR, or I'm sorry, a positive RR when it does that. Um, but it could get large, right? Because if the ATR is large, like it was, well, really all week, but Tuesday when it took that reversal, yeah, the stop can get large. So if you are running that, just know that the normal setup number one, so to speak, is it's a um, it's a 2-to-1 risk to reward, so fixed stop, and then if it reverses, it's based off ATR, which will adjust based on candle size. Um, but luckily, we were on the winning side of a couple of those this week, and it had a good week. So how was your week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still paused with Top Step, so there's that. I guess I got to go start charging back stuff and then have their risk team or whatever compliance team hopefully make a mistake and unpause all my stuff thinking that all I had was chargeback issues. Um, I don't know if you heard that, but that's what it sounds like happened. Somebody else. I don't know if he wants me sharing that to everybody. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, it's interesting. That's just been crappy. But besides that, I mean, I had a lot of hope for one that I've been working on, key levels. The concept is great. Like trading key levels is money as far as it goes.
Hmm.
Getting the code in the it to work correctly is a different story. And I I got like I had like a great run last week when I first created it and like no issues with like anything. And then
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden Monday's open like just started getting tons of random stuff like ghost trades, um had some repainting going on and I'm like what the heck is going on? Why was this running so great and then now it's just doing all this? So I stayed up late, tried to fix the code, tried a couple different things. Like I put a Verip code in it so that way it would alert me when it thinks there might be a ghost trade popping up. So um, it did that, and honestly, we are still having the issue. So I'm frustrated with it, but we I mean for the most part still takes good trades. It's when it gets in trades, sometimes I'm like, that is just a money spot to be short or to be long. Um, so I think it's gonna be great. It's just gonna take um, dissecting each part and maybe restarting and kind of building from the ground up and adding a level at a time, testing that level, making sure the triggers are interacting correctly with the level, how the levels are calculating. Because like a 4 hour high, low, and midpoint, those are recalculating every 4 hours. So you're getting new calculations for these levels, these support and resistance levels. all the time. So there's just a lot of stuff going into it. So trying to get it to all click and sync up at the same time seems to be an issue. So we're working on it though, and um, yeah, it's gonna be really great when we finally figure it out. We need
Yeah.
Brad to really probably jump into the code and figure some stuff out, because I mean, there's only so much AI can do for you on stuff, and it just, if you sit there with AI for a couple hours, you are just frustrated at the end if it's not if stuff's not working. So it's just like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it can be yeah, it can be tough when stuff like that starts happening, right? I've been there more times than I'd like to admit, but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's tough when that happens. Sometimes, you do have to just start over and go, piece by piece like that. But yeah, you'll figure it out. And that's the other tough part about this, right? I'd be like, oh, Dave, just send it, David, send it over to me. I'll take a look. But it's not, that's the tough part about this whole thing, right? When you're a
yeah,
developer, you can't really do that because like it's kind of like it's
yeah.
proprietary, right?
Well,
It's tough. So
maybe we'll get to that point
yeah, yeah,
once
exactly.
know each other longer. Let
But
me share this video really quickly to the group, because I don't see anybody in the YouTube yet. So let me share the YouTube channel um, live. Oh, I guess there's two people in, unless it's counting both of us.
oh man, it's just
Um,
yeah.
I know on X or on Twitter it streams, so I'm sure there's a lot more there. All I can see is the YouTube. So I'm going to share it really quick in the Discord. Put my Discord. All right. All right. Share it to the Discord. Yeah. No, that's funny you brought that up, because like and you know this, because when I first met you, I was like, hey, take a look at this code, and I would send everybody code, because I was like trying to get it figured out, and like I didn't know like about publishing and like what kind of went into that. So I was just like, I'll just send people the code, and like I don't really care. And at the time, I had no intent on really selling stuff that I was making, so I was just trying to find stuff that worked well, and that people that I knew could use, and we could all benefit together. How's it going, Wild Texan? Sorry, I haven't responded to your messages. I know you sent me a few on Discord. But yeah. I mean, if you're in, for people listening, if you're in the Clear Edge Discord, you'll see a lot of guys that are developing their own codes, and just the frustration that comes along with it is just,
It
it's
could
so
be.
hard, because we want to complicate everything, because it's true, like complicating something can make it better. How's it going, Lee? But to get it, that's when you get more issues. So it's almost simpler is better. So you want it to be as complex as you can with keeping it simple, to make it work. And that can be a very difficult line to straddle. So
Yeah, yeah, it can. And then yeah, and then some. Yeah, you'll get to kind of, if you do it long enough, you'll get in code long enough too. You'll get kind of understand what Trading View is looking for. And then like when I debug stuff, it used to take me so long, right? But now I've got a lot of, and I can share this at least with you, maybe off stream.
yeah,
I'll kind of give you some prompts that you could put in, and then it'll give you a heads up and how I go about debugging.
yeah,
Um, because I kind of had to learn it as I was coding a lot. But there's some pretty useful tips I could share too. Um, but yeah, so you got the key levels you're working on, and then yeah, what's you've got another one you're working on too, right? Is this one on the screen you got shared right now?
oh, this is one that's already released. I just made some settings
Oh,
for it.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, you made some
yeah,
new settings for it.
people have access to this already.
Okay,
Well, they have access to the one Brad published. I simplified it a little bit. So everything in the one that's published is in this one, but you'll
Uh-huh.
have to turn off like all the extra stuff that is in the published version. Because I wanted just a simple, easy, like I wanted like as few as possible buttons to press in order to
Mhm.
find settings. So I simplified it down. And this is just a MA, moving average strategy. So it's looking for touches.
Mhm.
Um, and then, so like there was a good touch right here for a win. This was a touch loss. But I mean, it's been doing well. I mean, you can count the TPs up here. TP, 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 TP. So it's been doing well. And it's one that like I don't have to worry about malfunctioning or doing something weird. So
Mhm.
it's I can trust it a lot more. But yeah, I have structure is the other one that is in the works. That one's working well. I'm having Brad kind of look for settings this week, and I have a couple settings, and I gave Lee some settings a while ago for YM, and I'm not a YM guy. Like I'm not. So like when I create settings, it's so much harder on an instrument that you're not familiar with. Like I've never made money on YM, made
Mhm.
money on ES, I've made money on NQ, like trading manually those. Um,
Mhm.
and it's like jumping over to something that you're not familiar with the tick value, you're not familiar with like what a good move is in the instrument. Um, Makes it a little bit more difficult to manually go in like you and I do, where we spend less time on the optimizer and we spend more time clicking buttons
Yeah.
to find something that's really good that we like. And so yeah, that's some of the optimized settings I just threw on the optimizer that I gave to Lee. I think ended up blowing us all up. It went on like a terrible losing streak. Did good for like a week or two on YM. But that's why I have Lee around, so I can just give him stuff that will blow up accounts because
Yeah.
um, feel bad giving it to other people.
I know. I know. Well, well, we had the Ranger release this week, and
Yeah,
the old release curse, does great for as long as I can remember running this thing just steady Freddy. And I release it and it seems to just just kind of I called it the other day in the Discord. I was like, we had to, I guess we had to sacrifice a couple accounts. It required a
yeah.
sacrifice for the new algorithm.
And you're close. You were close to another payout with it, right?
Yeah, I'm one day away from another payout in this account that I was running this on.
That set you back a little bit.
And yeah, now in these last 2 days, it looks like it lost a couple trades today.
Gonna need another
Yeah,
week or two.
it'll need another week, but hopefully it bounces back. I mean, like I said, it's been, the chart. You can kind of see the chart. It's been super steady, but with I guess what are we at with the VIX right now at 20? Oh gosh, we got all the way up to 29 today. So yeah, I don't know that I've ran it in a 29 VIX environment. I probably haven't. That's pretty high. So it
We
just
haven't
might
been there in
be.
a while. It's been
No, we haven't.
6 months or
So
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I was thinking about maybe looking into putting a VIX filter to it this weekend, or um, looking at a couple different things with it. But but we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, I really don't want to just go change anything either because it had a couple bad days, right? It's
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate, but it happens, right?
Well,
So
what I really like about the idea of having a VIX filter and stuff is like you have a set parameter. You're saying,
mhm,
okay, between 0 and 20, I have settings that work for this that are doing really well. And then if now we're in a new VIX environment to where we'll see how long it stays here, but if it stays here, we can get some good data for high 20s VIX environments. And then we can get settings for that. So the next time that it comes around, if
mhm.
stuff is decently consistent, we can tweak something that we already have made in folders and have settings for it. So um, that's almost like an easy categorize, like a way to categorize the market. It's not exact. It's not going to be a perfect cookie cutter for the next time the VIX is this high.
Mhm.
But it can get you started. It can be like, okay, well, my targets can be bigger. My stops need to be bigger. My size needs to be lower. um, and having those kind of parameters for trading these different environments, I think is healthy and good. And collecting data. I mean, that's what we're doing as automated traders. We're collecting data. We're going
Yeah.
to use that data for future time to apply it then.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'll be working on this weekend a little bit, is just to see, like, moving settings around, and like you said, adjusting my stops and my take profits, and what makes sense in this environment.
Yeah.
So either, yeah, create another setup off it, or just kind of go through it and collect the data and see see what we get. And guys, that's really all this is, right? It's data collection, and playing that edge is pretty much what it is, right? In its simplest form, automated trading, right?
Yeah. How do you deal with size um, when you're looking at higher VIX environments? Do you size down ever? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I really haven't this week. I've been normal size this week for everything. Um,
We haven't had the movement really like
oh,
that's normally associated with this high of VIX. Like we haven't had the moves that are
No,
typically come with it.
no, it's been weird. Like they've been weird. I'm just trying to measure some NQ candles here. I didn't do any manual trading, or I haven't traded manually. I guess they're pretty decent on the 1 minutes, but yeah, I mean, some of these 1 minute candles on NQ will get up to almost 80 to 100 points. So it's like, if when I was manually trading this environment, I would size way down. Now my strategies, they're all ATR based for the most part. So they'll kind of adjust with this. And that's why we saw such big trades for the Ranger, like I was, or not the Ranger, the Ninja, when it reversed this week. Um, but yeah, probably have to do some homework on that too, and just like look into that and see, do you want to be that big of size with this environment? Because thankfully we were on the right side of it, but that would have hurt bad if we were on the wrong side of those trades this week, right? That's like,
Yep.
I think between three trades, you were looking at 350 points almost.
Yeah, that's some
And
serious drawdown.
you'll start to blow accounts pretty quick, with 350-point losses in a week. Um,
Yep.
so, so yeah, but yeah, it's definitely sized down for sure. And I don't even know if that 33-point stop really makes much sense. I mean, it looks like it's been doing all right, I guess, but that's what's kind of hard about this whole automation thing, is like you were saying, just that when the VIX gets like this and the sizes get so much different, if you're not using ATR based, it's like, is it good to adjust settings? Is it not? Like, how are you approaching it?
Well, I mean, I landed at 50-point stops and 50-point take profits. Like this was over. I mean, this is probably a year ago now, where it was like, think. I mean, I'm terrible with dates and remembering, but at some point last year, it was like we had gone from a low VIX environment, and I had created settings for a low VIX environment to where like I was trading mainly ES. That was like my go-to for these algos, and
Mhm.
I was doing like a 5-point stop and a 5-point take profit, and it was a very low VIX environment. It was probably 13s, maybe even lower, and we were just not getting big moves. So the 5-point stop and 5-point take profit was great. The
Mhm.
VIX environment started to ramp up a little bit. So I moved up to I think 7.5 points to 7.5 points, 1-to-1 scalps. And that was started working great as well. And that's when I started getting into NQ. And I think I started at like a 30-point stop, 30-point take profit for NQ. And as the VIX started to go up, and once we got over 20, I had to increase my ES to 10 points. So 11 points. And then I
Mhm.
had to increase my NQ to 50 points. So, and those both rode out for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, we rode those settings out on QuantX for a while to where they were working great for a long. I'm like people are still using them today. those settings. So it's like that 50-point stop and 50-point take profit seem to be a pretty good in most VIX environments. It did well even through the lower VIX stuff. So that's kind of like my go-to favorite for NQ is between 50 and 50 and 55 for stops and take profits.
Yeah.
Seems to be pretty decent for the scalping stuff that I like to do. Your stuff bit different. You're getting better entries than I'm getting. So my stuff is not getting as good of entries, but when it's trending, it's just killing it. It's continuing to go up and continuing to hit profit target. So sizing is important to me, which is why my stuff typically doesn't include ATR based stuff. It's really hard to plan for it. That's where like it's either just size down. Like I use Market Ninja and I'm just size down, which is perfectly fine. I stay sized down. I have one NQ that I use on it, or MNQ, and I'm just letting it go. And I don't really care. Like if it has a huge stop, I mean, yeah, that kind of hurts. And next time around, I'm going to be a little more prepared for it. So I wasn't expecting that big of a stop when I when I saw it the other day. I was like, wow, that would wipe out a good chunk of what had kind of come in the week prior. So it was yeah, I mean that's just is what it is. Some strategies you need to, if you want to have them more set and forget, like you need to be sized appropriately. You need to know your strategy. If Market Ninja potentially has 100 to 150 point stop, then to play it safe and conservative, you need to be sized according to that. Now eval's different, obviously. Throw 5, 4, 3 NQ and MNQ for that. It's like you blow an eval, not a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. We were kind of talking about this earlier. When we had that little impromptu discussion. Dan was kind of going over this. You know, if you're newer to automation, right, and you're just getting started, and you really want to learn the personalities and what these strategies do from a take profit and a stop loss standpoint, because not knowing, you know, that for instance, the Ninja has an ATR based reversal, you could be sized way too heavy for this 29 VIX environment and you don't even know it, right? So it's really good to understand that as a new automation trader, you know, in that respect, just knowing what you're running. I'm at David, to be honest, I really like a hard take profit and stop myself. This particular algorithm, I found success with the ATR stuff, which in the past I never really did, or I don't know if I have anything else that I've actually developed that uses ATR. Like you, I'm more of a fan of, like I said, that hard TP and stop loss. But yeah, every now and again, like you'll find some stuff that's just nice. And ATR is nice just because it does adjust with the market. If anyone is unfamiliar, it'll take a certain number of candles prior to the one that you're on, and it'll take the average range of those candles, and then it'll calculate your take profit and stop loss based on the average range of you know, what the market environment currently is. So you know, like if you're, you know, overnight session, if the market, you know, if your ATR is small, it'll, instead of, you know, trying for maybe like a 50 point you know, take profit, you know, it might say, all right, well, this environment is only going to allow for a 30 point take profit, you know, so it'll just adjust like that. But yeah, I'm like I said, I kind of like that certainty of you know, what your risk is going to be going into the trade, so you can size, you know, just knowing what your sizing should be. But yeah, so it's a important part to know with these algorithms, that you know, how they're, you know, what they're looking for essentially.
Yep. Yeah, hang on, I'm setting up some optimization really quick because I forgot to do it before the stream. But yeah, it's definitely it definitely can be safety in having the set stuff, but at the same time, you can get the better results with the ATR. So it's kind of a line you have to decide, like, what fits my personality. What do I like to do? Am I willing to kind of risk a little bit more to potentially get this the higher payout, or the higher risk, or whatever you want to call it, the better reward from the money that you put in? Or do you want consistency, something that's going to stay really, I mean, I don't want to say consistency, because Market Ninja has been very consistent. So it's
Yeah,
you
but
really
just like that consistency of like, what your risk is going into it.
yeah,
Uh,
yep.
yeah.
Like my 50-point stop, 50-point take profit, like I know it's going to be, for a mini, I'm going to have $1,000 loss, $1,000 winner. I can
Mhm.
plan out my account. That's $100 loss, $100 winner on MNQ. So that's just simple. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So I think it's easy for me to think like that and not crunch a bunch of numbers. So yeah. Is there a maximum number of brokers and accounts you should use on ClearEdge on a VPS? Mark, you can do, I have right now, I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I run 6 brokers on the $40 a month one, just fine. So
And David, you were saying too, with those, to make it run a little bit better, you can do something with the charts, right? Do
yeah,
you still do that?
Brad had me go in, and I don't know if I can show everybody perfectly, because Brad was literally on the call with me when I did it. So something to do with the settings, select columns maybe, and you just take off the charts. So take off the charts, take off anything else that's on there, the DOM, and then save it. And then all you have is your account and your drawdown. Or I think I had to manually put the drawdown on there too. So
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
think it has the drawdown on there without you putting it on there. Yeah, so now I just have a little box, and it doesn't take up the RAM that in CPU that having all those charts open did.
Yeah, because if you run like a bunch of brokers on the VPS like that with all those charts, it'll bog it down, right?
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. You're not seeing my screen when I was doing that, huh?
Oh no, we were still seeing the trading view chart.
I must be sharing my window, not my chart, or not my screen. But yeah, no. So Mark, how has trading been going? We need to get you on here, man, to talk a little bit, because you had a great month last night. Went on a call with Brad also, and he set me up with the same way. I have an account info, open position info. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how many more I can put on, but I just added 2. I added Apex accounts, and then I added a Rhythmic connection, because we're testing out Rhythmic for the software, and so now I have six brokerage accounts on there, and everything runs fine. Not laggy at all.
David, I think if I if I remember correctly, so didn't someone want to go through settings, rolling through settings on how we? Oh, you got this up now.
Yeah, I was just going to show, this is how it's running with 6 brokers. Let me turn them all on. I was doing some stuff on here, so I shut some off. But yeah, so I mean, I guess you could say it's a little laggy, or like not as fast, but
Mhm.
I don't really notice it. Something just shut off, I think. What just happened? Anyways, so yeah, but flipping manually through settings. That's a good one. That's what we were gonna talk about.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe go with you can just go down how you would do it with Market Ninja, and then I'll show how I do it with my stuff.
Yeah, let me get on. Let me copy over a chart and I'll share my screen. Make a copy. All right, here we go. Where is the share button? Oh, here we go. Entire screen. All right.
Rough middle of the week, but overall really improved with the emotions of it and staying out of the automation way. It's running but chopped and changed a few midweek. Up on a lot of evals. Nice. Uh,
Actually, I actually was playing around with this number one setup the other day.
are we seeing your screen?
Yeah, I can see it up here. Yeah, so when I'm doing settings, I mean this is oops. This is really all I'll do is I'll just pull up what is I was gonna say this is doesn't look right. Um get the chart on the time frame you want. And then yeah, so you just go into your settings menu and so the other day too, um, what I'm looking for is like, and I did find this because of this reason. So we had where was it? This trade right here. So I watched this trade tick us out by like a point or two here, and I was like, what could I do? What settings do I have in my settings menu to like help this, right? So I said, oh, okay, well, I know that I can adjust my limit orders in this strategy, right? So I came down here and I said, oh, I don't have my limit order offset for shorts on. There must be a reason for that. And if I click it, there is, right? So we'll turn this on. And then all I'll do is I'll just turn this on and watch what it does. All right. So that was at like 6,200, brought it down to 5,800. So it doesn't obviously it's going to make me less money and increase my drawdown. So I don't want this setting, right? So I'm just gonna go up maybe like a couple, right? And then wait for it. And then it's 53 and 500. So that just went the wrong way, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I just went two up. It's not liking me going up. So I was at 5 to start. Well, now I'll go down 2, right? And then I'll watch it. And it's 61, 432. So we're starting to go the right way at least, right? And so I'll go down another 2. Wait for it. All right, 62, 446, and I'm at the as low as I can go here. So
Try putting a 5 after the 1, the 0.15. Try that.
And that's something else you can do. Yeah, you can get granular like that as well. So really that just tells me, that I'm out of adjustment with this setting. It really didn't help, right? So obviously that's not something viable that I can do to improve what the issue I saw was, right? So that's really kind of it is going in and kind of seeing how things are losing or winning or and just kind of going in here and kind of understanding what you kind of want to do and what it is that you need to adjust, and then going in here and trying to do that. And then as far as like if I wanted to maybe try and look for some other settings for this, it's really just a one by one. So like filter one, like maybe this is at 9, so like maybe I'm sorry, filter 4. So maybe I just go up to like 11, right? And then watch the number again. And does it go up or down, right? Up, it went down. So maybe it doesn't like anything like that. So that's really all I'll do for just hours, right? Is just sit here and play around with this. And then as soon as I get a better number, right? If I get a higher P&L, and really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for lower drawdown, right? I will take like if we could do like this at 67 right now, right? If I could get in 390, if I could get this down to like 300 or like 290, and my total P&L was a little bit lower, I will take lower drawdown over a higher P&L all day long, because to me it's just easier to manage trading, right? Like when this algorithm is running, if you have lower drawdown, you can make up that difference if you can get the drawdown lower with bigger size, right? So like you might not have as high as a total P&L, but your sizing can be different with the lower drawdown because you're kind of betting or hoping on the fact that like you're going to stay within that drawdown number. And then, like I said, you can make up for it in your size that way. So That's really my goal, is to try and get this as low as possible. Now, if I got this down to like 300 and then this went down to like, 4,000 or something, like 3 grand off, or roughly 3 grand off this number, that I probably wouldn't do that. But again, that's a trader's decision, right? Like, does this go down and this goes down, but then your win rate goes up? And of course, your win rate's going to show right here. It's just, you kind of just gotta adjust this and kind of find what you're looking for, so to speak. But that's just kind of how I do it, manually. And then I would go through all of these, that are available within the strategy itself. And and then even so, I mean, you can even get these on, and then even I'll turn them off too. Like, okay, like, does this make a big difference, right? If I turn this filter off, well, this one, did this. So it's really just a lot of trial and error, a lot of time. But the thing is like, once you do this enough, you kind of understand the baseline of like where these strategies like to be on their certain time frames. And there's only so much you can do with like the setup at that point, because they're pretty happy and you've got a good result. And then, so that's kind of is what it is at that point. And then if you want to go something completely different, you pretty much just start from scratch and kind of have a different idea in mind. Maybe you're like, okay, well, I've got this profit target with this stop loss. Like, let me increase this or let me decrease this, and then try and figure out and start from scratch, what filters are going to be beneficial. How often should it be done? I mean, it's really up to you. I mean, are you happy with the performance of the strategy? And, is it, do you want something different? It's really a personal preference. Like, I'll say this, the gold strategy on Ninja, it's been flat for about 3 weeks now. So I'm going to go in this weekend and try and find a new gold settings, because, back when gold was, ripping 60-point candles a couple weeks ago, those settings were doing awesome. Right. They've been holding their own, but trying to squeeze some performance or better performance out of it in the coming weeks here with this, slightly new environment we have. So, when you see a strategy fall off for 3 weeks, I think it's pretty fair to say that, you can kind of start to go in and see if you can, start to optimize a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fit it more to the market that's right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I definitely, something I look for when I'm doing settings is your P&L or your equity curve. So like, there's a lot of strategies out there that were doing great. And so they still have a great profit factor. They still have a great max equity drawdown, but they've just been flat and the last month or so. And it's like that, when I'm re-optimizing something, that's not really what I want to see. I want to see, how has it been doing this last month? But I also want to see that it was doing good in the last 3-4 months, 6 months, whatever it is that you have set. So I'll kind of be looking for that. I want to make sure it's still pointing up. Like, it's still been taking wins. It's still been breaking its all-time high on the P&L curve. And those are something that I'm looking for. And I can, were you going to say anything else on your chart?
No. But just to your point, like, well, this is a really bad example, but I was just hoping to switch time frame and it gets slightly worse, to see if you like adjusting stuff, and then you see like maybe even like this is an okay example. Like, yeah, I mean, if you start adjusting stuff, I mean, of course, just that P&L curve, like Dave was saying, the more up and to the right, you can make that thing look, and having good drawdown and good P&L is kind of like what, I think we're always looking for. If it flattens off or does this, I mean, it might,
Break even MQ Ninja trailing a break even stop once it goes 50% of the TB and reversed. Those losses hurt, but still see on back test that it kills some of the profit. Yeah, man, I've never had good results with like really good, like nothing is for you to make the trailing stop realistic. Like, it's never made like the biggest difference in the world. Like, it's made slight differences sometimes, but trailing stop has never like just really killed it for me and been like, that's a game changer. Let me add it to all my stuff. I
So
put it
like,
into, yeah, go ahead.
well, just to speak on the trailing stop too, I think maybe some people are aware or not aware, but so TradingView can only update the trailing stop once per candle close. So let's just say your trailing stop is, let me get a good example one. All right, so let's just say this trade, right? Let's just say your trailing stop is if we get a big candle. Underneath a candle that goes big, right? But then NQ like revert like this, right? But NQ reverses right away. It's just I don't know. Trading View's trailing stop doesn't like. Let's just say you wanted to trail at like 15 points or something behind or wherever. This is taking a bunch of time to kind of populate, right? So this whole you're kind of like a sitting duck in this environment where like you would want to be up here if you were manually trading, right? Like, um, does that make sense, David? Like what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say, like
yeah,
it's not moving with the price like you would manually. So like it's just kind of just sitting there, and that's why like you don't see it really make a big difference in P&Ls on TradingView because it can't move. So if it could move and you were always 15 points behind that price, like you kind of should be when you're manually doing it, that trailer would have caught it up here, and you're like, okay, great, like I just caught a really nice big move. But that trailer, if depending on how you have it set, it could be all the way down here, and then price just went against you. I mean, this isn't a great example, but 18 points, let's just say. So it's almost like not taking advantage of the whole move in Trading View, which is hard. So
yeah.
just something to kind of know. It's just kind of like a platform thing
Mark,
that you know.
yeah, Mark, I actually added stuff to some of the new stuff that I have. It was interesting. So I had it going off bar close, so it trails behind on bar close, and I had it offset to like quite a few bars back. So it would trigger at one bar, and then it actually starts the trailing stop starts like um way back in like below where your stop loss would be. So the only time it would ever really make a difference is like if a trade sits in a trade forever, like a really long time, like up by target, which is those are the trades that annoy me the most. It's like, oh, he's had a big move. Now we're like a point or like 10 points away from the target. And it's like, well, you sit in there and you watch it for maybe 10, 20 minutes and you're like, well, crap, I really hope this doesn't go all the way back and hit stop loss after this. So in those situations, it would actually come into play to where it would either be like in the red zone for your stop loss or close to break even. So we'll see how that did change enough to make me want to put it in, but
Mhm.
it still didn't make like the biggest difference to just letting stuff play out. Um,
Yeah, and
it's
it could be your setup, strategy too. Like I was saying a couple weeks ago, if it makes sense and it makes a difference in the P&L, I mean, I'm all for it, right? Just make sure it gives you a better outcome in the long run. Is
yeah.
really kind of how I view it.
And for those who are new to like maybe messing with trailing stop stuff, like if you're trailing it by points and you see just an equity curve that is like a straight line,
Mhm.
that is not real. That's whatever you did to the trailing stop, you have made it unrealistic. TradingView is not putting out the right data. Equity curves are not straight up lines. They are bumpy. No matter what strategy you have, they're going to have some sort of bumps along the way. So do not trust a trading view back test that has a straight flat line.
Yeah, like I'll see if I could get. I don't know if I'll be able to get a curve nice like you're trying to talk about, but yeah, it'll just be a straight really nice up and to the right curve that just
Yep.
is way too good to be true. I wish it was true though, because we'd all be really wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. David, did you have something on your screen? I see you down there.
Yeah, I can start. So, I mean, my stuff is built for tweakers. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but uh, yeah. So, I mean, because like I'm a tweaker as far as like tweaking around with settings and doing that stuff. So, like the stuff I built was originally built to be able to tweak everything and to mess around with the settings. So when I'm looking through my things, I do get very granular with it, but I also get like random at times. Like if I'm really getting frustrated, I'm like, look, nothing's really doing much. I start getting like crazy random. So I'll be like, okay, this is already good, so I'm not gonna really be able to change it. But let me pop up with put key levels on. All right. So if I see, I'll go into my settings, and first of all, I like to take off pretty much everything. So I don't want any of the confluences on. I want to start with as much of a blank slate with as many trades as I can get it to do, because I want to work backwards from a lot of trades. So let's see what that does. All right, so 216 trades. So first thing I'll do is I'll play around with whatever the trigger is. So if for this one, it's key levels. So I'm going to play around with the key levels of click back and forth, see what stuff does. Okay, so now it's a little bit better, a little worse. And I will get something to where I have enough trades that I can work with. I'll work backwards. And once I kind of get something by being randomly kind of going through this stuff, then I will move down the list. I think, let's see what this is. So once I get something, let's just pretend the equity curve's good. And then I will work and I will see what I can do moving down the list on my TP and stop loss. I'll start with that and I'll be like, okay, what is a 30-point stop loss and a 75-point take profit do? What is a 30-point stop loss? And my stuff has custom risk for shorts and longs, so it's a little different. So I'll just kind of flip around with stuff, find something. Okay, so that did something to it. So I'll try doing this, see what the cooldown does. And I'll just go down the list and I'll get a general thing to figure out, okay, here's something workable. And then I'll go back and start getting granular with stuff. And I'll be like, okay, well, sure, a 30-point stop loss was good, but what does a 30.25? So $30 in a tick do? Okay, well, what does 29 in a tick do? Okay, so, and then I'll go to 0.5. I'll say, okay, what's 29 and a half do? And then I'll go up to 30 and a half. And I'm just testing within a point of each other. Okay.
Yeah. Would you say you set that first, like your initial just size of the trade?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be the first thing I do, and then I'll go do the levels. And then I'll change it from there because I want to know what's my purpose in this. If I'm trading these levels, I want it to be a good risk to reward. Hey guys, elevated VIX in RVOL made for a challenging week. However, Ninja and Kairos did well with M&Q. Kudos on releasing Ranger stats will improve. Just timing. Anyone working on an IB strat? Thanks again. Yeah, I mean, I put an IB strat on the back burners. I have one that's workable and that actually does fine. Even has like the Medusa trade where you can just do the first touch of the IB after it's formed on the day. So you can just take that trade if you want. And yeah, it works. It works fine. I've given it to a few people to try out. It just nothing was as good as what we had out and what we were currently trading. So it kind of went on the back burner to try to find better stuff. But yeah, if you're really interested in the IB stuff, maybe I'll jump back on and see what we can do with it to improve it. But yeah, let me see if I can do it.
I've got this one I did, David. I don't know if my screen is still shared or not.
Let me let you share your screen.
It's decent actually. I just it's funny because like is it showed up there? But
Yeah,
yeah, this
yeah,
this was the one I made. I think I worked on this a couple weeks ago. This is on ES, but had a decent curve. I wasn't in love with it, but it did okay. That's the yearly on it. So it was just a little flat for my liking in this part of the curve, and then it's done well since November, but not terrible. But again, I feel like I don't know. I've worked on a decent bit, and you always get them to this, or I've gotten like 3 or 4 to this point, and it's just like, man, they just need that little something extra to like get them over that hump. But I just don't know what it is yet, and so I just kind of put them on the back burner.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's decent. But I don't know. I actually was just thinking this past week. I was like, oh, maybe I'll dive into that again. But yeah,
yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what you have in your IB at some point too. Because
yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I don't. I feel like it's not as manual as people say it is. Like, or I'm sorry, is audit. Like it's easier to manually trade the IB than it is to set up like a mechanical strategy for it.
yeah, yep,
As far as like what I've seen after programming a bunch of different ideas, but again, maybe I just don't have the right sequence either. That's as good as somebody that's figured it out. So I don't know.
yeah. And I want to show you. I flipped through my settings for a few seconds. So yeah, I made something. I mean, this is how fast you should be able to find something good on here. Um, yeah, $300,000 for $1,000 of drawdown, and this is between March 2025 all the way to March 2026. So 95% win rate, a little over 1,000 trades. I mean, this was easy to find. I mean, if you guys aren't finding something this good in a few clicks,
Dang, how much you
no.
charge for that?
No, this is the line I'm talking about though. So if you're
Yeah.
seeing an equity curve like this is not real. This is I put a trailing stop on it at one point. Actually, you can pretty quickly just figure it out. Go to the list of trades. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, with a micro, that's like $19. So
Hmm.
you're, yeah, that's just not realistic at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's I that's the trading view trap when you're new. I saw something like that in my early days, and I'm like, I think I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, we're gonna be
Yeah,
millionaires.
we found the holy grail. This is it.
Yeah,
12-point profit factor.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Look at the chart. It's all green. You see all these little flags? Green flag, winner, winner. So yeah, but that's definitely something to be careful for when you're flipping through settings that have trailing stops on
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah, or Heikin-Ashi candles or Renko strategies, anything that's not normal candles. Well, you can get results like that too. It's unfortunate that they're not real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Showing how you guys go through the settings for optimization and how much work goes into it. Really appreciated. Yeah, man. And honestly, one of the reasons for talking about this is like I do think there's going to be a time in the prop firm world where you're going to have to make our stuff unique for you. Like I think trading other people's settings, trading shared charts. I don't think it's going to last forever. I think there's going to be a time where we're going to start seeing AI pick up on, oh, well, there's 5 people trading in sync instead of looking at hundreds of people and only going after the big fish like QuantView guys or whatever it is. I think at some point prop firms are going to be like, hey, this is an issue. We can make more money if we got rid of these guys that all traded third party algos. Like Top Step specifically says in their rules, no third party algo. And I think most of the other companies like Lucid, they have other requirements like you must send us in writing that you're automating and we must approve it. So that's just another way of saying like, hey, we want to be able to like make the decision on, oh, you're using this third party algo. Yeah, that's too good. We're not going to have a bunch of people doing this all at once. So they all have their little loopholes that they can keep us from doing that. So being able to create your own settings is going to be just something that's invaluable. And unfortunately, there's more success we have, the more likely that it happens sooner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
And
if we all started just crushing it, I mean, they're
yeah,
going to catch on pretty quick. Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like it.
How about this, guys? Start creating some of your own strategies too, because ClearEdge is growing, and we're going to start having so many users that if they're all using Kairos and Market Ninja, we might all be in trouble. Might have to not share charts anymore and be like, "Come on, guys, just find some settings."
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah, because I mean, I mean, I think it's a valuable skill, and it shows your willingness to really go in and make this your own and do it yourself, and actually work at this. And as hard as we try at manual trading, I know all of us that have gone through the manual trading route, we have just been so into it and like wanting to learn it and figure it out that we were willing to read any books that we needed to read, willing to watch any videos on YouTube, put that same effort into, hey, how do these algos work? How can I make settings that actually work with these different things? And then you can use any tool. You can go to Algo Pro and figure out a way to make that tool work. You can go to somewhere else and make that work. So it'll be beneficial to learn how to use these and get to know them.
Yeah, it's always good, and it can be a little intimidating when you're first getting started in automation,
Yep.
to go into these menus, and but yeah, as you get acclimated and everything, and you understand us, the buttons and whatever to kind of navigate around, yeah, it's good to dive into that. I will say, just if you are new, copy your chart and make like a test chart, because I guess if you're using shared charts from us, it's okay. But if you do adjust them, you really can't just go back once they're adjusted, and if you don't remember them, it's kind of hard to find them. So just kind of a note for anyone new starting to play around with things.
For execution for some of my own strategies. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings if you guys use my stuff and are like, hey, that's a good idea. Like I already had ideas and I'm going to start implementing how to use this in that, or like, how does something move? I mean, we're all in it to make money with our algos. So if I'm making money with my algo and less people are using mine because they're able to make their own stuff, hey, I created mine so that I could make money myself. That was the reason. And it wasn't to charge other people and to make a bunch of money that way. It was because I wanted something that worked and I wanted to use it. And I wanted to be able to go into the code and be like, hey, I want to change this. Where you guys are reliant on Kevin or I, you can send us a request and be like, hey, I want to add this to the code, or I want to do this into the strategy. But like, normally Kevin and I, like, we've already worked through a lot of the things that people ask us for. And typically we've either tried it already and just didn't think it was worth it. So like, then it becomes about preference. And if you're using somebody else's stuff, you're on their preference. It's what they preferred when they put into the code, what they put in.
Yeah, but I it's kind of cool. So every now and again, people will just DM me ideas, just the sequences that they're like, oh hey, like I don't think they have any interest in coding, but they're like, hey, have you ever tried this and that? I've programmed a handful of those.
Yeah.
And what you start realizing is a lot of these sequences that maybe people trade manually, or they say they're profitable with, two questions arise. Either they're really good traders, or you start to question if they're actually profitable, because the reports don't they're not showing it, right? And you're like, oh, okay, well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But
How much discretion are you putting into this little extra little sequence that you're talking about?
yeah, like I was talking with someone earlier this week. I don't know if you keep up with people. IB has been all the rage on X for like the last 2 months. But some guy actually took another guy's IB exact thing that he laid out in his post, and he programmed it and he's like, here's the equity curve. And it was just like, it was really bad. Um, and they kind of went back and forth and everything on it. But yeah, what you'll realize is if you can, because if you give me a sequence, I'll be able to spit you out an algorithm within a day.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like overly complex, anything, fairly not too crazy. And like I said, a lot of this stuff, you program these sequences and you're like, this is not like this IB strat is to get it even this good is not anything that anyone's sharing on Twitter. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Now the general idea is the same, but there's a lot of just my own stuff in there just to like, get it even this good. And yeah, because a lot of that stuff I was taking off Twitter and trying to put it into a mechanical strategy just was not working. So like I said, yeah, it's interesting once you start kind of going down this rabbit hole, so to speak. You kind of start opening your eyes to to if people are really telling the truth or they're just really good traders. Haven't figured that one out yet. So
yep, that's true. But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to kind of get to before we wrap up? I don't have to run this time, but it is 6.
no. I think I'm all set.
Let me actually really quickly, we don't have to spend time on this very long, but I saw somebody ask a question in the Discord channel.
Okay. Couple of things that I'm working on too, guys. I am working on settings this weekend. I think I'm going to take a little break from programming, and just dive into settings this weekend, trying to find Ninja settings for a couple other things, Ranger settings. I'd like to find a couple different markets. We were talking today on stream of a couple different, like maybe some bond settings, or just trying to offset the indices, right? So we can start maybe running more than like one indice per prop firm, because that's also been tough. I guess we didn't really touch on that. Couple of guys this week, had some unexpected hedging going on in their accounts just due to these, they're running multiple strategies in one prop firm, and the prop firms are watching out for that. So you guys got to be careful with that too. If you're going to run like stuff, they're really not. But at least Lucid handled it appropriately. They're just going to, as it sounds like, take away, your profits for the day and kind of just let you know. Doesn't sound like anything too crazy, but yeah, that's what I'll be working on, is just trying to find some uncorrelated assets to hopefully add to the, to the charts here.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know somebody was just asking in the Discord what people are running to pass evals, and if he is on the stream, I told him to jump on and put the question in the chat, but I don't know if he jumped on or not. Yeah, I mean, there's people all over the place passing with both Kairos and Market Ninja and Secret Lab. I know there's a few guys that use Secret Lab's stuff. I'm working with a few guys that are working on some ORB, wild ORB stuff, which is the one that comes with ClearEdge. Seems like a lot more people are using that now that they're just coming in. I told them to go start using Market Ninja ORB or Market Ranger, but I understand when you buy a membership and you get a free one with it, you want to explore how it works. And but yeah,
I started there, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with using that one too.
Yeah. So I mean, people are passing in the Discord. I mean, we've had I don't know. I know in the Kairos Discord, we've had a few people in the last week post about passing evals. I think in the ClearEdge Discord, we've also had several people use Kairos to pass evals. Oh, someone this morning, Levi
Yeah, Wild Spaces. He passed his. So
and then I mean, people are passing all the time with Market Ninja. So there's some good strategies out there, man. Just take a look if you haven't been on to kind of check them out yet. They all come with free 7-day free trials. So obviously 7 days is not enough to know if something's going to work for you or not, but 7 days is enough to look at the back tests, to go over the data that's there currently, and you can get a good idea of what's going to work for you and what's not. Yep. 2 funded accounts with Market Ninja. I know Mark was Market Ninja for sure.
Yeah, and I want to, people that are coming in that are new with asking about passing evals. it's very important to have expectations of what that timeline looks like, right? How aggressive you're going to get, and passing an eval. I think Dan was or Nara was saying today on our little meeting. If you're passing an eval in 2 weeks, that's aggressive, right? Like you're taking risk, and there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure it's part of your plan, right? Like I wouldn't expect to pass an eval in a week with any of these strategies. And if you are, you're definitely oversizing and risking, which is again fine. But I mean, 30 days or 20 to 30 days passing an eval, I think it's reasonable. But I think Nara or Dan passes in like 2 days, he says, because he really sizes it up. But again, that's his plan. You can do that. But if you're going to take that approach, just make sure you're okay with losing some of the evals, right? If you're more slow and steady, I think a more appropriate timelines, about that 2 to 3 week mark is what I've generally seen.
Your budget should always be the first thing you do in the month.
Yeah.
You make a budget. You say, I mean, if you have a $2,000 budget for combines, then trying to pass in 2 days is not a big deal. Or if I write off all my combines or all my evals at the end of the year, so I have a massive amount of write-offs, so I don't worry as much about buying them. But I don't know if you get can you write off if you're not getting payouts with the 1099 form?
No.
Unless you're okay, so you'd need to be a contractor somewhere to have a 1099 form and then consider that part of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get some payouts, and then hey, that's a good reason to take your payout whenever you get it. Hey, whenever you're eligible for payout, go take it, because then you get your 1099 form, and now you can go write off all your evals and stuff. I'm not a tax guy, so I don't know. Don't ask me questions about taxes. I hire a CPA, and I literally go in person. He's from my church, so it's like I know the guy. Yeah, I know he's going to take care of me, and I'm going to bring him all my stuff. I'm going to sit with him for 2 hours, and we're going to figure it all out. So, yeah, it was I had a good tax year this year, by the way. A lot of write-offs. Yeah, it was a nice tax year. We've got shafted for a while we had like some big moves where companies paid for the moves, and like they throw all that on your income. And then it's just, so there's been several things thrown off in the last 5 years on our taxes. And a couple of the years we've owed like several $1,000s, and it's like, oh man, it's been frustrating. So hopefully we got it all kind of tied down now, and we're doing better with our taxes. So
yeah, always a good thing to keep that under control. So
yeah. But all right, we're quite a bit over time, so we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and weekend. Shut off your brain if you need to, or maybe go learn how to do something new, like make some settings.
All right, thanks guys for the support, and hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll catch you in the Discord.
Yeah, talk to you guys later.
We'll see you.